Yet another trap, I see. Well, last time you set a trap, it was a bunch of archers and spearmen that didn't really do much, along with a guy who defected to our side. So, yeah, that doesn't really bode that well for you. And with that, we don't have a shop on the Great Bridge. Guess we can get a preview of Fort Welt here. And yes, Coda is here. He is a Duke, and not a Duke Knight like FE4. In this game, Duke is just a pathetic class that is effectively just really... It's not really any better than Sasha's Princess class. So yeah, Coda sucks. At least he has an S-Dock. But Berom is... Statistically, I think he's even worse than the previous boss. But he does have this thing. This thing, and its artwork looks like real life sword breakers. But this thing, it actually does break all non-legendary swords on hit. Its accuracy is bad though, and it has low might, but you don't want to send sword users against him in melee. And we also have some armor knights. Tom! An artilleryman with a portrait, huh? Okay then. Yeah, that's kind of, you know, obvious what we need to do with that guy. And another artilleryman. A bow soldier. Different from bowman. And with a brave crossbow too. Another bishop there, and another artilleryman. Oh, this thing! This thing! Yeah! Guaranteed 4 attacks. Now, technically it's possible to double with it, but with 20 weight, it's extremely unlikely. But, like, you know, technically you could get 8 attacks, but this guy is, you know, negative 14 attack speed. There's no way he's doubling really anyone with that. In fact, I think it's... No, if you had, like, negative 20 attack speed, you would be doubled by that. But other than that, yeah. I'm not sure how you get to negative 20 attack speed, but anyway, there's really not a whole lot that I see that we can do here at this point. Except maybe give that javelin back to Naren. I'm gonna actually give... Oh, I was gonna say, I'm gonna give you the Killing Edge from Julia, because she's not using it right now, and then I just realized that she can't use it. Oh, she does only need 1 more mastery, though, to use that, which isn't too hard to get. Then Sasha, I forgot to use the Angelic Potion last time. But she's getting closer and closer to using that. I think it's time that we march out to Fort Welt at last. Liberation of Welt. This chapter title was literally translated from the Japanese. So this is a castle map, so the Urbanite ability will be activated, which is good for Rudin because this is a Seas chapter. And speaking of Seas, Coda is on the Seas points, along with that guy being nearby. And also some archers in towers, which is interesting. The towers give a 15% boost to evasion. There's also a bridge there, but also a gate here that has HP that you can damage to break it down. So you might notice that guy there. This tank looks slightly different. So yeah, this is Tom. And, okay, there's a guy, dang it, here. For some reason, you need to bring Bart to talk to Tom. There is zero indication that Bart knows that guy. Although in Manage, if I go to Bart's, will it say that he can talk? No, it doesn't say. So yeah, complete guide, dang it. Yeah, no indication that Bart knows him, but they're actually longtime friends. So you need to bring Bart to this chapter. I guess I can replace Garou for now. So we get 12 deployment slots here. And here's the thing. So in addition to Rune and Enter, slot number 4 and the bottom 3 deploy at the top part of this map. So there, I want Bart to be part of that, so I'm going to put him, I guess I'll put him in slot number 4. And the bottom 3, the ones who deploy at the top should probably be strong cavalry, so I'm going to go for, and also people with anti-armor weapons, since the top front will be facing off against the artillerymen and the armor knights, so yeah. Going to go for... Naren, Raffin, and Zeeg will all be down there. And make sure that Bart is in that group. And I don't really want Norton, unfortunately. The rest are going to deploy somewhere interesting. So Raquel, Martel, Marouge... Oh, yes, also bring Mel. You want to bring Mel to this map as well. So I think that should be it. And let's go! So I hope I was right about the deployment slots. Yeah, Bart's is up there. And, yep, there are my bottom 3. This is another map where it's very important to know your deployment locations. So I made sure to write them down. Because, yes, Eugen has sent a squad to infiltrate the castle town and give a signal. We don't know who he sent because they're in illogical places in the deployment order. It's, I just don't... Yeah, it is one of the biggest problems of this game. Yes, and that's not suspicious at all. I mean, it's not like the enemy wants us to come in. Coda has been scheming to lure us into a murder hollis. No, my brilliant strategy! All according to my keikaku. Translator's note, that means plan. I had to break out that voice at least one more time. Yes, I will stand guard here because otherwise they could just seize and instantly win. So, we actually do need to wait a little bit in this map for Roger to arrive. Yes, false rumors that are not very easy to confirm as true. And he probably is hoping Roger will die as soon as possible. However, we've rescued his fiancée, so... Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes once we get there. But yeah, the group that is inside the castle walls, weirdly, it seems like they'd be in danger, but ironically, they're actually not in that much danger immediately. In fact, this chapter almost feels like half a battle and half just a sandbox time in the city. Because guess what there is here? Yep, it's an arena. But, first... Yeah, we need to go down here. We need to be careful, though, because we don't want to break Tom's tank before it's time. And anybody with ranged weapons should take on the bow soldier and the bowman down there. So I actually think that the bow soldiers are called snipers in Japanese. And you might be wondering about the class that's called archer and sniper in English. Well, they're actually called bow fighter and bow master in the Japanese version, which is... I kind of I can understand what the localization did there. It's kind of dumb sounding, honestly, and I'm glad they changed those. Some of the other changes to class names might be a little bit contentious. Like, for example, Gold Knight was a class in Gaiden, and in some other games. Well, I mean, Radiant Dawn hadn't come out at the time of this game, but yeah, Gold Knight was a class in Gaiden, so keeping Naren's promoted class as Gold Knight rather than Gold Paladin might have been good, but... I had a feeling he would miss all 4. But as long as Naren is parked in front of this guy, his days are numbered. He's just gonna... Eventually he'll miss, and then that will be the end of him. Yeah, I think I will actually... Zeeg in reserve for taking on the tanks and the Armor Knights. The towers don't really afford you any more defense. That was a nice crit from Raffen there, actually. Now, please get a good level up, because you have not been good for me lately. Okay, strength is good, speed's... Okay, yeah, that's a good level up. Good, you're making up for your earlier performance. In fact, let me just check the level up history to see if you've been screwed or not. I mean... Which stat is that big sharp line? Oh, it's HP. Yeah. But yeah, those level ups have been decent. I don't know if Narran's history counts his promotion gains. I don't think it does, but yeah, like, look how much the strength line is, like, in comparison to the rest of his stats. Meanwhile, Zeke, just all of his numbers are just going to shoot up at roughly the same rapid rate. Again, don't lure that guy before it's time, but I can maybe put Zeke here and see if I can, oh, he can attack the gate already. I think for the moment I'm just going to try and see if I can lure these guys and get them hammered. Makes it sound like I'm going to feed them alcohol, but no, unless, you know... I mean, a big hit to the head with a hammer is pretty effective at knocking someone out, but they usually won't get up again afterwards. That's dark. Anyway, there is a shop here, well, an armory. I keep mistaking the armories for vendors because they have that awning outside, which doesn't look very armory-like. Oh, they sell pylums! They sell pylums! This is that really good throwing spear that I was talking about earlier. 10 mites, decent hits, and 9 mastery. Pylums are pretty good overall. I've got a good amount of gold, too. We can also buy Thunder for our mages. In fact, if you have Lee, once Lee gets Thunder, he becomes really insane. So definitely buy that for him. Steel Axe is heavy. We can buy more heal staves if we... I'm going to go ahead and I like how they warn you if you can't actually use the weapon. But yeah, I'm going to buy a couple of pylums. And yeah, you can't send things directly to the convoy from the armory while you're in the middle of a chapter. But a couple of pylums are going to be kind of useful, but yeah, Martel doesn't have the mastery to use them yet. Once she, Sasha does, and that's going to be great, but yeah, once she gets pylums, pylums are fun. Pylums are very fun. Oh yeah, that guy has just an iron bow. And does seem to have a bit of increased range from the tower. Yeah, it says range 1 to 3, but yeah, this only has range 2. So towers do give you increased range. It's an interesting idea. And obviously don't put yourself in range of that guy. Might, though, be able to... Raquel will only be able to counter... Raquel's better served weakening things. Also, I could try and show off her in the arena. That house with a blue roof, by the way. That's important for the arena, but we'll get to that later because there's somebody that I might want to use that house on. Everyone else just needs to kind of head forward. Yeah, there's a vendor down there. Yeah, the vendor almost looks like it should be the armory because it has a, I don't know, harder looking roof, I guess. I think I'll visit the furthest house first. Now, that's a unique villager portrait. I mean, I'm not sure that's exactly a cowardly tactic. I mean, it's a tactic, and honestly, it just kind of reminds me of how I feel about Ghost of Tsushima while I've been playing it. Like, everyone's like, oh, you're using stealth tactics, it's dishonorable. But it's like, I mean, honestly, like, in my book, as long as you're not hurting civilians, like, when you're on a battlefield, it's kind of anything goes. But yeah, we have a bridge key, which we can use to open up drawbridges. So, for example, we could use it on these drawbridges here. Don't, by the way. There's, like, no reason you would ever need to use either of those drawbridges in this map. And there are a few later maps that you would... let's just say you probably want to conserve your bridge keys for those later maps, because they're really, really useful there. There's a couple of maps that become nightmares if you don't have bridge keys. So, yeah, at this point it's mostly just waiting for these enemies here. It's just, I kind of wish there were more enemies at the start of this map. It feels kind of awkward for the big final map of this arc. Oh, it turns out Narran only needed to hit once. It's really just a bunch of archers and just some minor guys coming at us from there. I mean, I guess the Chukonu tank is somewhat dangerous, but... The artillerymen, or tanks by the way, they're kind of a spiritual successor to the original ballisticians from Fire Emblem 1. Not from Mystery of the Emblem, not from Shadow Dragon, but in Fire Emblem 1, ballisticians were really just, basically just bow armors. They only had they only had 2 range, like they were bow locked, they didn't use ballistas, and they just, were just archers with really high defense, and like, Armor Knight tier movements. And that's basically what the artillerymen are in this game. At least you do get a bit of a hint here that Tom might be recruitable. And yeah, it's actually heavily implied that these tanks are pushed by hand. So, I mean, you'd think that would make these guys have good strength stats or strength growths, but... well, you'll see. No one can recognize you in this. And yeah, he does mention Bartz, so this is your cue that if you didn't bring Bartz, you should restart the chapter now. It's just... TV Tropes calls that trial and error gameplay, and these days it's not considered good game design. He probably should have given that monologue before we picked units to deploy, but anyway. Yeah, the Rapier is also effective against tanks. It's just funny to say that, but... yeah. I think this guy... oh no, it's just 9 bow. I think there's somebody here who has a longer range weapon. But yeah, this is what I was mentioning earlier about the stronger crossbows usually having special effects to them. It is always annoying using this hammer against these guys, because, like, its accuracy is unreliable, but if it does hit, it's basically a one-shot. And tank smashed. It's just kind of funny that Zeke not gaining defense, I think, is actually kind of preferable, because if he doesn't, then, like, if he gains defense too much, the enemies will just, they won't attack him. I do not want to equip... he is equipping the Javelin. -1 attack speed, -3... Tom doesn't get doubled, but he may still be at risk of dying, because Raffen has a somewhat solid crit rate. I don't like that, but let's just see. I'm just going to attempt to chop this gate. Attacking gates works very similarly to how it does in some of the Fire Emblem games. You just, you know, attack the gate and you only get 1 attack and you do damage to it. Like if I put Runen there, then he'll probably take the bait and attack Runen. And then Bartz will be able to talk to him next turn. And yeah, Runen has 6 movement here because of this being a city map. And Raquel's vow to not kill humans does not apply to inanimate objects, so this gate is free to feel her full unbridled fury. I forget if you can activate Adept against gates in this game or not. You probably can. But let's just go ahead and finish it off. Don't put Martel in range of ballisticians, by the way. It's a really, or, you know, artillerymen. It's a really bad idea. They're an interesting class of enemy. They're just really durable, but also have basically no speed, and also will just, you know... they rely on their special crossbows to sort of be a threat, so... they rely on that to attack multiple times, and they're really only a threat if they attack in large numbers or if they attack flyers. They're honestly more like, I guess, what TV Tropes would call goddamn bats than demonic spiders, because they're just really durable, but they're not really that much of a threat. So, this is interesting. This implies the kind of opponents that the arena sends after you is based on your unit's score stat. And that you can equip different weapons to kind of fool the arena. So you do end up using, actually, do you use your, I think you do use your own weapons in the arena in this game. But other than that, the arena works very similarly to how it does in Fire Emblem. If you die in the arena, you die for good. But you can get experience and gold there. And maybe more. There are some weird things that can happen in the arena in this game. But I'll go more into the arena once something happens a bit later in this chapter, because it's... you'll see. Okay, so getting an Armor Slayer, that's good. Yes, no doubt the healer who can't ever fight will find the Armor Slayer useful. Let's just check that it's Mastery 8, which is actually kind of high, and its hit rate's pretty bad, and we have a lot of other armor-effective weapons. But the thing is, we don't really want to engage that guy with the Armor Slayer, because if he hits, he'll break it, thanks to his Sword Breaker. So you want to attack that guy with non-swords or from long range, so that he doesn't, you know, get that Sword Breaker effect off. And also, because the Sword Breaker has limited uses, you could break the Sword Breaker, but it's also droppable, although actually, given the way that... I think droppable weapons in this game work the way they do in Mask games. This guy getting boss music. Oh. Hi there, Fuku Yamagishi! But I think it's like, the enemy just drops an extra copy of the weapon that was in a separate inventory. That you... back in Mask games, you could actually see their additional inventory, which is kind of funny because it made Camus look like he had 2 Gradivuses. But yeah, now we can go ahead and talk to Tom, not attack. In the box thing. I'll still never get over just how big Bartz's portrait is. Yeah, I thought he'd say that. Don't think Tom knows the meaning of baths. Oh yeah, that old excuse. He researched that technology from the castle to increase the speed at which his units were produced. That's Age of Empires 2. Whatever crap you're doing now. I thought I was just going to say better than working for Coda, but no. Just better than whatever crap you're doing now. Yeah, except we could kind of use that box. Or will we? This is... Tom. If you like 4 move with no promotion, then say hello to its little brother. 3 move with no promotion. So, Tom. He's locked to bows, has 3 movements that never gets better, and is weak to Armor Slayers. His class does have the unique ability to use Arrow Spate and Stone Hoist for long-range attacks, at the cost of a massive hit to his stats, most of them came from his tank after all, and being unable to move for the rest of the entire chapter. I am not kidding, that's what happens to him if you use one of those weapons. Also, good luck hitting things with 1 skill. Let's see what else he has going for him. Well, he doesn't support anyone, he gets a decent skill at a level that he'll almost certainly never reach, and he has a bizarrely high speed growth, but he has 10% growths in strength and defense, which are the 2 stats that he really wants. Now with all of this, you're probably thinking that Tom is bad, maybe one of the worst characters in the game, and honestly, you would be right. However, I'm here to tell you today that Tom actually has a few specific niches that make him not entirely useless. Firstly, 15 base defense is actually pretty solid, and a lot of enemies can't hurt him at this point, which makes him decent for walling off choke points if he can get there. Secondly, there's a certain type of monster we'll be encountering later on who love to show up in large numbers and harass units from range. However, they are flying, have low HP, and have individually low attack power, which means that Tom is great for luring and killing them on the enemy phase. Thirdly, there's a somewhat infamous map later on where Tom can help by breaking down doors with a ballista. Yes, this is actually something people use him for there. And fourth, and finally, Tom is the undisputed king of the arena. For some reason, the arena loves matching him up against things that can't hurt him. As long as he's not facing an armor-slaying weapon or a mage, Tom can make you tons of gold in the arena for virtually no effort, other than the effort of having him slog over to the arena in the first place. Which is something I plan to show off later in this chapter. Don't get me wrong, in 95% of situations, Tom is really, really bad. But in those extra 5%, he actually does have a use, which makes him better than some people, arguably. Look at. Something that also I should mention that even though we only ever see artillerymen using crossbows when they're enemies or when they're, you know, Tom as an enemy, they can still equip regular bows. So that's good to know. Okay, Raffin. I'm gonna attempt to maybe javelin this guy. Let's see how this goes. I mean, we really don't need to kill this guy at all. He's of no threat to us, but he is free experience. Well, not exactly free, but you get the idea. Easy experience. Oh, I just realized that I could potentially... Oh, if I put Naren in the arena, though, like, look at that score, 214. They're probably gonna send him up against some ridiculously strong enemies, and yeah. Okay, we have that bowman coming towards us. Martel could try and go for him, though I don't know if she actually takes him down or not. I would like Sasha to take them out, but at the same time, Sasha could maybe get some experience off of those Armor Knights and a tank, possibly. Yeah, I sort of want this guy to go... Wait a minute, make sure that the tank doesn't get in range, because 4 guaranteed attacks with effective bonus on a flyer is not going to end well. Oh wait, that guy's a marksman as well, so I probably also should have dismounted her. Yeah. I think marksman is the class that is sniper in Japanese, and just to be absolutely sure, I'm gonna just use Raquel to send him down to 1 HP, just to make sure that he dies next turn. Then there's the weird thing about Raquel's vow of pacifism, is that, like, yeah, she's not gonna kill anyone personally, but she's totally fine with helping other people kill people. It's the weird flaw in her moral code. Yeah, 2 attack speed is pretty high. I just have to hit at least one of these, though. That's always famous last words, but I feel pretty confident. There we go. He was actually worth a decent amount of experience. I don't know if Sasha will do well in the arena at all. And then Marouge, really, he'll just have to try and get as close to the boss as he can. Now, I forget if there are reinforcements that appear from the start of the map. I don't think there are, but I could also be horribly wrong about that. If you bring Kate to this map, she also has Urbanite, so that could help with moving through the place. Though it only bumped her movement up from 4 to 5. And towers heal you. I'm assuming they have some kind of, you know, medical supplies inside the tower itself, even though all we see of it is just the top of it. Oh, yeah, this guy. This guy is frustrating. Actually, it's a good thing that I coincidentally moved Martel down there, because Martel's main job later in this chapter is to hunt that guy down. But because he's a bishop equipping a staff, yeah. He's actually surprisingly hard to kill, because you can't really double him that easily, even with a Pegasus Knight. Hi there, Mage. Hi, Mage, rather. There are just a lot of weird enemy-only classes. Vega doesn't have his halving damage thing equipped, so he takes quite a lot of damage from magic. Armor, armor, and tank. Okay, we do need to watch out for that tank. But they do only have 3 move, so they can still attack Sasha if she goes there and finishes the High Mage. That could be a problem. Yeah, see, I only have, like, up to 9 attack speed. That's not going to be enough to double you, because you have 7. And he's in a forest. This guy is annoyingly hard to take down. And he isn't even worth much experience, as I explained earlier, because since staves don't count as weapons, his score stat is really low, so killing him isn't worth much. Yeah, it's only 45. You barely get anything out of killing him. And I really wish that there was some way to get that physics staff off of him, but I don't think there is. If this goes on too long, I might even just turn off Raffin's battle animations. Zeke. I guess Zeke can get over there. Because Tom is going to very slowly make his way down. He has a very special job in this chapter, which I no doubt have already told you in his bio. I haven't recorded the bio yet, as of recording this, but yeah, that's going to be interesting. So, it's attack 12 versus your defensive 7. That's 5 damage times 4. A potential total of 20, but I don't think anything else will be able to attack Raquel from there. So if I go here and then... this is overkill, but I like the extra evasion. I will need to physic her up. Did I move enter already? Please tell me I didn't move enter already. Maybe I did. That would be really bad. Well, I mean, at least that missed. And that was a level up. Paragon is great for her because it means she doesn't need to kill things to get experience. I did. That was actually extremely lucky that she dodged that. Or not, because now she's still in death range. That was extremely not lucky. Okay. Right. I don't like this air stock is almost broken, but I have a few more of them. Doesn't... I've already forgotten if Mel had one or not. Oh, we got a free Thunder out of that, so you don't even need to buy it from the shop. Mel had... Yeah, she had another air stock, so that's good. So, basically... I need to completely block that... Or... Here's the thing. One of those guys can attack Sasha. I don't want them both to attack Naren, though, because then Sasha will not... Sasha kind of needs to kill both of them, because I really wanted to get to level 10 in this chapter, even though it's not totally necessary. Can you just smash that tank this turn? I mean, you definitely double. 16 defense, though, but you've got 29, so that means that I do 13 times 2. That won't be enough. Yeah, Naren, unfortunately, all he can really do here is block. That only heals 10, okay. Well, I have a slight idea. You can go there. Equip that for the defense. Heal with the Anherb. And then you can go there. And I can maybe try and get a little bit of damage on you with a Javelin. This guy only does 1 damage to Naren. But the good news about this Chukonu is that it is not enemy only. We will actually get these later on, and it's not just tanks that can use them, it's anyone with a rank in bows. Oh, now they do nothing. Naren, again, like, Naren does not need to level up, but he just still does. That's an alright amount of score, and with Sasha's score being that low, she'll get a decent amount out of that. Runan, I suppose, needs to keep marching forward for the seize points. And who else? Mel is the only one who can move. Yeah, if one of those guys moves, then if Mel goes there to heal Raquel, she'll get hit by a... but yeah, you're blocking. I should have planned that out a little bit better, actually. That was a bit unfortunate. Can't do animations for you yet. It's just, yeah, there's just not a lot of it. It's like turn 4 already, and like we've already cleared most of them. It's just, this is a weird chapter. Again, I feel like it's less of an actual battle, and more of just a sandbox experience in the town with the arena, which is weird because this is supposed to be the big finale of the Welt arc. We're supposed to be defeating Kota once and for all, but as you can see here, most of his troops are just already dealt with. I think it's kind of supposed to be your introduction to artillerymen, and just like, and in particular the Chukonu facing that. Vega, I would appreciate if you don't kill all of these guys, please, because I want some of them to be saved for Sasha. Otherwise, we're going to have Sasha fight the boss and risk losing her swords. Or, you know, Vega, you could just go insane and just destroy them because Vega. I'm not opposed to Vega getting level ups, especially if he gains strength, but yeah. Oh, and magic is not bad for him either because of Levin swords. Yeah, the good news is that guy is obviously still going to fall to... Is he still going to fall to Sasha? Oh, I like it when you dodge all 4 hits at that. And I should mention, it's called Gatling Bow in Japanese, which is actually kind of a cool name, but I like this one too. It references that particular type of Chinese rapid-firing crossbow. Although in terms of what it looks a little bit more like an organ gun, but with bows. Are organ guns real? I think like they're in Age of Empires 3, but I mostly know them as a dwarf unit in Warhammer, but I don't know if they're actually a real thing or not. Okay, how much attack do I have? This is going to use up a lot of the Brave Bow uses, but I just kind of want Sasha to finish off this guy. Oh, well, yeah, he's probably going down to 1 HP for sure. Yeah, he's definitely going down to 1 HP. I like the motion blur effect when you use the Brave Bow. Hey, there we go, someone dodged all 4. And now prepare for 3 useless arrows as Raquel, or just 1 useless arrow, as Raquel intentionally whiffs against the tank. Oh, speaking of which, can you even damage this thing with the S-Stock? Because 16 defense is a lot. Oh, you just barely can't damage him. Ah! I mean, she'll probably still get experience, but... Oh, and you don't have enough crit. That is... I should have thought that through. That's really frustrating. I'm just going to do this just to see if I get experience out of it. Yeah, that's why I didn't want Vega to kill both of those guys. Okay, so getting Sasha to the next level is going to be a little bit harder, especially since there'll be some reinforcements coming later, but they are not really exactly conductive to fighting with Sasha. I suppose Runen can take the experience from this guy, provided he has enough attack. Yeah, he does. I wish I had a Levin sword on Sasha right now. That would definitely be enough to finish this thing. Yeah, that plan of mine failed pretty badly. I should have thought that through more. But if I don't get Sasha promoted here, it's not the end of the world. It's decently easy to in the next chapter anyway. Yeah, I'll probably just have to give her a bunch of swords that I can that I can afford to break. Although I think Vega... Oh no, not even Vega can double that, Bishop, which is annoying. I suppose I'll just go for an even slightly higher hit rate. I would really appreciate a crit right now, but I probably won't get it. At least this guy can't heal himself. It's not like Radiant Dawn, where staves give you a healing effect if you're equipping them. And unfortunately, Raffin has to get lucky now to take this guy down. I mean, next map is a ridiculous treasure trove of experience, so it's not the end of the world if you don't get a lot in this one. Oh yeah, and you have Kanto, because you're one of my few people who does right now. Tom slowly inches his way forward, because I do want to try something with him before the end of this chapter is over. I don't exactly want Naren down on the lower front, because there are some people coming from there that I don't want to die. Is anybody in major need of physic right now? I mean, Naren, but at the same time, he doesn't really need healing. No, it's going to take Tom forever to do what I want him to do in this map, but it's going to be worth it, trust me. Yeah, no enemies at all are on the map now. He can't even get there next turn. I suppose Raffen can head down here, and I can probably finally remember to turn off Mel's battle animations. Now might be a good opportunity to use that save staff if you want to. Save staffs are pretty useful for the arena too, for obvious reasons. Okay, so yeah, animation, few, and now, yeah, you can just heal. There is this form of battle animation called stills that is, I guess, kind of fast, but you don't see the weapon animations or anything like that. Oh yeah, Sasha can probably get the kill on the boss if I weaken him with Raquel. That's a possibility. I mean, she'll have to hit though. Gotta remember to keep attacking this guy, because if he's still around by the time we start fighting the boss, that'll be a bad thing. At least you're almost leveling up out of this. Okay, you know, maybe you should get in the woods and use an Anherb. I would say maybe you can find more Anherbs in the woods, and then I realized maybe don't do that, because if you eat strange herbs, then yeah, you won't know if they're safe for human consumption. Then again, he isn't like Vega, and Vega's. I wonder if the half damage from Shram applies to damage via natural causes or not. Okay, we're at turn 6 now. Is it like turn 8 or 7 that the thing happens? Well, it certainly hasn't happened now. Okay, come on, let's just get rid of you. Hopefully. I mean, if this misses, then you're in for an even more painful experience, because Vega will need to... Yeah, there we go. You got lucky. Oh, we get his heal staff, but not Physic. I don't think this is like Fire Emblem, where you can manipulate what enemies drop based on the last thing in their inventory. I'm pretty sure they always drop the same item. Like, because again, I think it's contained in a separate inventory. Okay, they're getting close, and this is C's. Now, if you know certain things about this map in advance, you can kind of cheese things by moving Mel down here in advance, though you might want a lot of backup for her. And we'll be seeing why. Okay, let's move Sasha in closer. I'll see how much accuracy this guy has on Sasha, because she is getting a support from Runan, I think. Or is she? I can check. Yes, she is. I think this might also be the last time we hear this song, too. This is very much just the early game map theme. And now... The Legend of Tom begins. Yeah, this is another one of those skill training places. But this one teaches you the one unique terrain skill. Oh, this guy can't hold a sword to save his life, but he can use bows at least. So I'm going to be teaching this guy this skill. Even though the avoid won't really be a big deal, but the hit bonus will. So because movement doesn't matter in the arena, this skill gives plus 20 to accuracy and evasion, but only in the arena. I suppose if Ogma was in a game like this, he'd probably start with this skill. A duelist now. I can't see that word without thinking of Yu-Gi-Oh! And yes, Tom's fame in the arena will spread far and wide, because it's one of the very few things that he's actually good at. if you can believe it. Maybe Martel will go down there just in preparation for a possible ambush. So this is supposed to be an ambush for us, but if we play our cards right... Oh, speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't even mean to make an unintentional Yu-Gi-Oh! Reference there. I think Mel should go around there. I don't think these... I'm pretty sure these guys don't ambush spawn or anything like that. Could even maybe get Bart in on the action. Please don't let those be famous last words. Okay, so how much accuracy do you have versus Sasha? It's actually sort of fitting that Sasha would fight this guy. 47, and Sasha's hit rate is terrible, and if this guy hits, Sasha loses her her sword. I guess I can equip the Slim Sword and then use an Angelic Potion. Though the HP boost won't kick in immediately, I think. Yeah, because it's just max HP plus 5, and not current HP. Oh no, it does actually increase your current HP, so that works differently to how it usually does in other strategy RPGs. Normally you want to use Marouge or Raquel from range against this guy, or Javelins or things like that, but I want to see if I can get like a little bit of experience from Sasha. If she gets enough to push her over a level, and then she gets the kill, maybe she will get enough to reach level 10. You shall not pass through. As long as I live, you shall never reach the palace. Fear my generic boss conversations. I need to work on my one-liners more. Okay, good. At least she dodged the sword breaker, and that was a level up. No strength. That's a shame. Oh, his score is only 108. So either Sasha will... I can let her, like, wail on him a tiny bit, because we can't end this map yet. But then it will be time for stuff to happen. Although it reminds me of that really silly X-Men cartoon quote with Magneto saying, "When I get angry, things begin to happen." No matter what media Magneto is in, he always produces memes, I've noticed. That's not relevant to anything that's going on right now, but it's just like, any incarnation of Magneto always just creates huge memes. Whether it's in the arcade game, whether it's in Marvel vs. Capcom, whether it's in Ian McKellen's Magneto. So yeah, here is that that ambush that I totally didn't know about in advance from having played this game before. But yeah, there's so many turns to wait until this guy comes that it's just, you're probably going to be around here anyway by the time they spawn. And again, thankfully they're not ambush spawns. And hopefully, okay, so Mel can reach Roger. But at the same time, I am gonna have to kill off Roger's squad very quickly, because unfortunately, they don't turn into green units when Roger defects. And it doesn't tell you that Mel can talk to Roger, but, should be pretty obvious. So, if you didn't, like, these guys here have these Great Lancers, or Grutlants, as I like to call them in Radiant Dawn. Stupidly high weight, but they are very, very powerful. And they're not even that inaccurate either, so you kind of want to kill them off quickly. Because otherwise Mel may be in danger. But let's see. Okay, she has the heal staff there. Yeah, let's talk to Roger right now. So if you didn't visit the Narcissus house, Roger is recruit number 2 who you miss from that. Because no Mel means no Roger. So Narcissus might seem like a shady guy, but really, he actually did us a very good service. If it weren't from him, then we'd probably have to kill Roger, and then Mel would rot in a dungeon. I don't even know what happens to Mel if you don't recruit Narcissus, but I'm guessing her fate is not positive at all. So yeah, now that Roger knows Mel is safe, he can finally follow his conscience and join us. And when Roger says he doesn't want to be separated from Mel ever again, he means it, but that'll come into play a bit later. For now, let's go over Roger. Roger is pretty simple overall. He's just a pre-promote who joins early with solid enough base stats to contribute with no investment, but mediocre growth rates which don't matter that much given the low growths overall in Tearing Saga. He has a really nice 15% mutual support with Mel though, and combined with getting the Vantage Wrath combo, that can make him a crit machine. Roger might not be as dominating as someone like Zeeg, Rathin, or Naren, but think of him as more of a supplementary combat unit than a main one. There's really no reason not to deploy him in maps where you have the slots for it. Roger does have a bit of a weird drawback though that we'll be seeing soonish. It involves being inseparable from Mel, and very soon, Mel is going to want to go somewhere that isn't kind to horseback units, which is going to limit Roger quite a bit. He happens to join with an Armor Slayer, and the boss is weak to that, so yeah, that makes him pretty effective. Now, can Roger... Oh, wow, yeah, Roger... Oh, yeah, he does have a ridiculous support bonus with Mel, as it would make sense. So, obviously, he's going to be doing pretty well against these guys with his fiancée by his side. I almost said wife, but she's not his wife yet. Nice sweeping arc with the lance there. So I think I'll prioritize the Gritlance guys, but I'll see if this guy can deliver the choppy death. Oh, no, that guy's in a woods. I like to call them woods because it's fun to say. This is a little shaky in terms of accuracy, but let's hope he hits both these. That was inevitable. Kind of close to level up too. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 people still here. And then Naren is like one guaranteed kill. Though that guy is in, again, a wood, so he's effectively stuck. So I can try and take this guy down. Shram should be able to do it. Because there's not much that Vega can't double. I just realized that the map battle backgrounds are almost hand-drawn, which looks pretty cool. And that guy still... Oh, he actually can reach Mel. That's not good. But Rathin has Kanto, so he can like hit this guy and then run and then block off one side of Mel, I guess. Rathin's Killer Lance, if it racks up a good kill count, might actually be a decent weapon to use a Smith's Hammer on, which we don't have yet, but we'll be getting those eventually. I think we're getting pretty close to the point in the game where we can get them too. Okay, so that guy is totally blocked, and anybody he attacks is not going to die, so I don't really need to worry about him too much right now. But you there, you can block Mel and kill off an enemy at the same time. So let's just finish this guy with a one-shot because Naren, just Naren things. Oh, you can swing all the way over there and attack Mel. That's, good for you. However... I mean, she doesn't die from one attack, so, I mean, it's not super imperative that we think about protecting her right now. And it's not as if they're going to double her or anything. I kind of want to do that anyway. I'm just sort of want to protect her. And okay, like I don't really want to use a save. I mean, no. Oh, I have Zeeg. I totally forgot about Zeeg. Whoops. Zeeg can. I guess Zeeg can take out one of them. There is something about the Devil Lance that I might discuss later, because there's something also a bit pertinent regarding Zeeg's class that I can talk about in this map a little later. And now you can only attack one person, nobody there is going to die. I think I can safely do this for the first time. I want to just show this, at least once. Because I am about to go into the arena for the first time.